Are you terrified of losing your memories? Have you ever had that eerie feeling like a memory just out of reach, a name on the tip of your tongue but gone in an instant? What if your brain is lying to you right now? What if some of your most precious memories are fake? But that's not all we're uncovering today. Today on Shock Alchemy, we reveal the shocking truths about memory loss. Facts so disturbing they'll make you question everything you think you remember. Get ready, because we're diving deep into the cosmos of your mind. Prepare to be amazed. Most people think memory loss is something that happens when you get old, right? Like you're telling your grandkids the same stories over and over again because you can't remember telling them the first time. Well, buckle up, because the truth is far more unsettling. Your brain starts forgetting on purpose as early as your mid-20s. That's right. Your brain is already hitting the delete button while you're still trying to figure out what you want to be when you grow up. Think of it like your brain's own internal hard drive. As we age, it needs to make space for new experiences, new information. So it starts trimming what it considers unused memories. It's like cleaning up clutter, except you don't get to choose what stays and what goes. That vacation you took last year? Gone. That embarrassing thing you did in high school? Well, maybe not. And the worst part? You might not even know it's gone. You're left with a gap, a void where a memory used to be, and no way to know what filled it. You know how people say, seeing is believing? Well, when it comes to your brain, nothing could be further from the truth. Because your memory isn't some perfect recording of events. It's not a videotape you can rewind and replay. It's far more subjective, far more malleable than that. Memory, my friends, is a reconstruction. Each time you recall something, your brain is essentially piecing it back together, like a jigsaw puzzle with some pieces missing. And guess what? It's terrifyingly easy to manipulate. Scientists have actually implanted completely fake memories into the minds of test subjects. Memories of events that never happened. Like being lost in a shopping mall as a child, or going on a hot air balloon ride. These aren't just vague feelings, but vivid, detailed recollections that feel as real as any other memory. False memories aren't just limited to laboratory settings. They can be influenced by outside sources. A suggestive question, a leading news story, even a conversation with a friend. We've all wished we could forget a painful memory, right? Erase a traumatic event from our minds like hitting the delete key. But the human brain, it seems, doesn't work that way. In fact, when it comes to trauma, the opposite often happens. The brain doesn't forget. It locks those memories in, holding onto them with a vice-like grip. For those who suffer from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, this is a living nightmare. The brain, stuck in a loop, replays the trauma over and over again. Vivid flashbacks, nightmares, intrusive thoughts, the past bleeds into the present, a constant reminder of the pain they've endured. The very mechanisms that are supposed to protect us, to help us learn from danger and avoid it in the future, become our tormentors. The fight-or-flight response, designed for short-term survival, becomes a chronic state of hypervigilance, anxiety, and fear. It's like the brain is stuck on high alert, convinced that the danger is always present, the threat always real. We like to think of our memories as objective records of the past, but the truth is far more subjective, far more influenced by the very emotions we experience. You see, the brain isn't some cold calculating machine. It's a dynamic, ever-changing organ, shaped by our experiences, our thoughts, and most importantly, our feelings. And when it comes to memory, emotion reigns supreme. Think about it. What events from your past stand out most vividly? Chances are they're the ones that triggered the strongest emotional responses. The joy of your wedding day, the birth of a child, the grief of losing a loved one. These memories are etched into our minds, their details seared into our very being. But here's the catch. The stronger the emotion, the more unreliable the memory. Emotion acts like a magnifying glass, amplifying certain aspects of an event while diminishing others. This emotional bias can have profound consequences, especially when it comes to eyewitness testimony in court. Studies have shown that even the most well-intentioned witnesses can misremember events, their recollections skewed by the emotional intensity of the moment. We live in the age of distraction. Our attention spans fragmented, pulled in a million different directions by the relentless demands of the digital world. We pride ourselves on our ability to multitask, to juggle multiple tasks simultaneously, but the truth is, our brains are paying a hefty price for this constant mental juggling act. Because multitasking isn't just inefficient, it's a memory killer. Every time you switch your focus, checking your phone while watching TV, scrolling through social media while trying to have a conversation, you're forcing your brain to split its attention. This constant task switching weakens memory encoding, the process by which our brains convert short-term memories into long-term storage. As a result, you remember less, you learn slower, and your attention span shrinks, leaving you feeling scattered and mentally exhausted. So the next time you find yourself reaching for your phone while engaged in a conversation, remember this: you're not just being rude, you're actively undermining your brain's ability to function at its best. We like to think of our memories as uniquely our own, experiences imprinted on the blank slate of our minds. But what if some memories are passed down to us, encoded in the very fabric of our being? What if trauma, like an unwelcome inheritance, can be passed from one generation to the next? Emerging research suggests that our DNA might hold the key to unlocking ancestral memories. This isn't about inheriting specific recollections, but rather, inheriting the emotional echoes of our ancestors' experiences. Studies on epigenetics, the study of how environmental factors can influence gene expression, have shown that traumatic experiences can leave a chemical mark on our DNA, altering how our genes are read and expressed. These epigenetic changes, researchers believe, can then be passed down to future generations, influencing their health, behavior, and even their risk for certain diseases. Imagine inheriting the fear of loud noises, not because you yourself experienced a traumatic event, but because your great-grandparent lived through the horrors of war. This idea that trauma can be inherited is both fascinating and deeply unsettling. Alzheimer's disease. The very name conjures up images of severe memory loss, confusion, and the gradual erosion of the very essence of who we are. It's a terrifying prospect, but one that many believe is confined to the later chapters of life. But here's the unsettling truth. Alzheimer's disease in many cases starts decades before the first noticeable symptoms appear. By the time a person begins experiencing significant memory problems, their brain may have been silently deteriorating for 20 years or more. Those seemingly innocuous memory lapses we often attribute to stress or aging, forgetting names, misplacing keys, losing our train of thought, could in fact be early warning signs of a much more insidious process unfolding within the depths of our brains. The plaques and tangles that characterize Alzheimer's disease, the hallmarks of its destructive path, begin to accumulate silently, insidiously, long before their presence makes itself known through overt symptoms. This long, silent prelude to Alzheimer's makes early detection incredibly challenging. Your memory is your identity. It's the tapestry of your experiences, the sum total of all you've learned, loved, and lost. But as we've explored in this journey into the depths of the human mind, memory is far more fragile and far more false than we ever imagined. From the brain's tendency to delete and distort to the insidious nature of trauma and the terrifying reality of Alzheimer's, the truths about memory loss are both shocking and profound. If this shocked you, imagine what else your brain might be hiding. Like, subscribe. And remember, this is Shock Alchemy, where we expose the truths no one else dares to.